Sagittarius, welcome back for your soulmate video. Those of you who are new, welcome. Those of you who have been back before, hello again. Okay, now I want to wish you guys a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. If you are needing a booking during the silly season, the link's below. I've pulled the cards ahead of time and I've just had a look over the energy. Be mindful that, you know, a lot of the frequencies at the moment are to the point that we're making big judgments, and moving close to Christmas, it's almost this pressure we may feel within our connections to get them right, to move in the correct direction, you know, really tying up loose ends and then coming to that fatigued state. So we're not going to vibrate within our relationships at a beautiful frequency. It's quite normal if a lot of it is Debbie Downer energy, you know, God, are we, you know, is it going to get better? What is going on in your connection, just looking over the cards, is very much you're dealing with a past tense energy. This can be connected to your childhood or even connected to a child in general, but it feels you're making a sacrifice, and it can be some of you in a soulmate connection, you're making a sacrifice due to the fact you got children, or you're looking at something and you're saying, hey, I'm making a sacrificial energy for a given bigger purpose. It might be at a financial, emotional, physical level. It's affecting your frequency, and that's not even picking the cards up, just looking over them. It really is affecting your frequency in the way you're looking at the bigger picture. Now, I'm doing a mid-month reading for the collective. I'll name it love, and that's for romance as collective energy for females and males of the zodiac signs. So you can have another look at where it's going and how it's transformed. Now, this is a very temporary energy, so you know, moving into the month, it feels you're very much in hermit mode. You know, you're doing your inner child work. You're really meditating upon what's right for you. It might be affecting the relationship if you're in a relationship with your soulmate, or you may be meditating upon them and where it's going to go and how it's all going to come about. Regardless, you're meditating and you're dealing with some old energies. But to keep the playfulness there is really going to help it physically move forward. You're going to need to rise above problems, which you've always been great at doing that, but you also need to be incredibly gentle with yourself. Being that it's the end of the year, you work so blooming hard, guys, so try and get to a state that you can have a bit of downtime for you. If you can't deal with the super heavy, serious energies, leave it to a point you physically can, because some things can't get solved overnight. It's a bit like the Great Wall of China, and you know, the last brick's ready to be placed, but you've actually got to do a 90-day drive to put that last brick in. It's just a metaphor. It's more, if it's overwhelming, take the time to breathe. Take the time to change the frequency to a point you can kind of gain your bounce back and have a bit of downtime to change the frequency. You may feel a bit hindered of new opportunities and new ways of looking at it and moving the connection to the next level where you're wanting it to go. There may be a suppressive energy. Some of you are very dissatisfied in employment as well, and it's giving you a lot of time to look at it and go, hey, I know I've got a lot of responsibilities and I know I want something in my love life to go in a particular way, but your finances seem to be the bugbear of a situation. And it doesn't have to be that there's not enough money coming in. It could very much just be you've stopped, you know, or you might not be. Regardless, I'm seeing work-related energy affecting your frequency, and you're just looking at going, I just don't feel myself right now, in the way you're looking at your romance house. You know, it's not giving you the luxury of actually really digging into the grit of how you're feeling. So a lot of people are thinking, hey, on the 3D, you're looking all fine, that everything's okay. But deep down inside, there's a little wound festering, and it can just be a wound of fatigue or frustration of not being able to have that time to think how you're feeling and do the things that are really pleasurable to you. I see many of you making really large assessments as to the big dreams you want to attain, but you've also got the fatigue directly connected to it, where you're looking at the bigger picture in your romance life and where you want it to be, how you wanted it to be, and are feeling a bit overwhelmed with it. Again, it can be to the point you feel very run down and exhausted, and not being able to stand your ground in a situation because there's a foundation change. And it might be at a temporary level you're stuck doing particular things in order to get that off the ground, or the delay due to Christmas, but it just feels this delayed frequency of an energy coming through. It's really frustrating you. It's frustrating you to the point that you're wanting to move it forward, but there's external situations going on where you actually are like the fly on the wall, seeing the bigger picture, feeling the fatigue, and knowing what you're going to have to do, but there's a time delay, I'm hearing. Now, January is a very interesting energy coming through, although, like I said, I'll be doing the mid-months for the romance sector to see where we're going and how we're going to be changing so very quickly, which I do feel for a lot of us, we're really doing 360s at the end of the year, and there will be a very rushed energy connected to that, trying to get everything sorted. Some of it does seep over into January, where we're having the total lunar eclipse, and that's really going to push us forward for the next 6 months. So whatever transpires around that time, it's directing us down a very different path. Now, if you're dealing with an earth sign that is a soulmate energy, they're really facing their fears at the moment, and it can be that you're receiving that energy, you know, in a vibration, or the way in which they're reacting to you. They're really following their intuition, and they see the bigger picture, but they're fearing they won't be able to achieve certain things, and that might be their way, that what they're picking up from you. So it can be the energy between you, of the way the road's going. There can be fears directly involved that you're both facing, in a way in which you're trying to move forward into the future. Some of these dark fears may be foundational related issues that you're having an awareness that need to change. And it may be, you got, this card's in reverse for them. You can't go back to yesterday. Now, it may be looking back is going to have the key to the situation, but not living there. And it may be some of you are actually wanting to go back to this earth energy. And you're wondering, can you? If you're asking that question and you're not currently with the earth energy, it's saying yes, they're waiting. Another aspect of the situation is if you're directly, you know, in a relationship with an earth sign, it's saying looking back over old energies to move forward into the new, facing your dark fears, but moving ahead and through them regardless is going to benefit the situation. It is going to be a wake-up call. So again, I was feeling a lot of 360 energies coming through towards the end of the year. It doesn't feel like a normal Christmas. It very much does feel more like a transformative time, where it's almost like it feels it's not the bigger picture. The bigger picture is so much heavier. So even looking at that time and trying to embrace that frequency is problematic for a lot of people at the moment. And it's not to take the light off those moments for Christmas and New Year's. It's merely that at a frequency level, a lot of us are feeling very, very changed, where we're moving in a direction and there's the frustration connected to it. If you're dealing with an air sign, daydreams and decisions, really having the faith that the connection can move to the next level the way you want it to. It's very feminine aspected energy, so it may be balancing the energy more. The female energy may be more balanced than the masculine, but again, it's to do with the road and which way you want to go and having the faith in it. And at a level 7, you know, it hasn't quite reached the 9. The earth energies are reaching that solid union, although in their frequency, they're believing that they're not moving forward. You're at the 7, so I do feel it's moving forward. And I do feel that you're on point with the timing of, you know, your mindset. If you have something in mind of what you're wanting to do between the both of you, if you're directly working with each other, I feel it will work well and is connected to divine timing. But you're going to have to put a lot of effort in, and especially with the fatigue coming through in your reading, it's very relevant to how you guys will be working together. You're really working on a combined dream, and if you're not, you're going to have to look at it from this perspective. And that's really the advice for you and the air signs, is that yes, okay, it may be connected to timing and you might have a lot going on, but the way you really need to look at it is it's collective dreams, not just singular dreams. And if you're looking at it from a very singular angle, it's going to impact the way you both are, because you need to have a commonality between you. It's important to move this to the next level, as to work as a team, I'm being told. Okay, the fire signs. Okay, a lot of nurturing is going on between this connection, and you've really got the tools to be able to move this forward. You're going to have to, I feel their energy is very different to yours, however, and it has been where they've really stepped up to the plate and transformed. So if you're looking at them as a potential love interest within the soulmate connection, it can be that they're very driven at the moment, and it's like they had a quiet time and they're moving into their frequency. They're realizing that there's a clash of clans here. They may be feeling as though, why do you have to sacrifice what you're wanting? And you're feeling you have to. So there can be a butting of heads within this connection, within the mindset, within the frequency of it. It's a temporary frequency. It's not a permanent frequency, but they're very driven to a way in which they think this should go. Even the way in which the inner child card and the nurture card are directly looking at each other. It's like, you know, you're like, you're okay, I'm going to go with it. But they're like, come on, we can do this. We can reach for the stars. But their energy frequency is higher than yours. But I feel they're not looking at all the energy around them. You're looking at the bigger picture because you've had experience in a situation, whereas they're just going gung-ho with frequency. So that's really concerning you. And they're saying, look, just because the past, so you can actually learn something from each other in this situation. It's sort of the frequencies coming through there saying, just because the past affected you doesn't mean to say the future has to. Yes, okay, you've got experience, touch the stove, it's hot, don't touch. Yes, of course, there's a reaction. But they're saying, do something in a different way and it will bode well. And you're sort of very cautious about this. You know, you're looking back on your intuition and looking backwards and you're like, yeah, I'm not sure. Water signs, they're really ready to reach the heights with you. And again, theirs is at a number 9 as well, and it's sort of like crossed hair. You're really not buying what the fire signs are saying though. And it's not that you don't have a connection with them. It's more the way you're seeing something is very different and it's affecting the communication within the relationship. If anything, which is really strange for you guys, you're usually very vocal to a point. You express what you want. You're open to that. But I feel on this occasion, it's not you outruling what they're saying. You're merely meditating upon it and trying to gain some clarity so you can kind of communicate it. Water signs, no, really stepping up and wanting this to go to the next level. Moving away from the aspect of the uncertainty within the connection, being open and willing to do this. Moving away from toxicity. Just having a complete 360 when it comes to being prepared. I feel in a way, if they had blockages, they're ready to leave those blockages behind. They're like, I'm ready if you're ready, but you're the cautious one at this point and they're not. And the energies can swap vice versa. But I feel they're ready to leave certain aspects behind and move into a road with you where it's going to bode very well. Now, if you already are together, it means you're going to start seeing eye to eye more so. And you're working together as a team, but your frequency is very tight, so I feel they may take the lead while you're recouping. And that is very much the same for the fire signs, but you're not, it's going a bit too fast with the fire signs, I feel, if you're dealing with the fire sign. So gauge how it's going for you personally. I'll pull 2 more cards and then we'll wrap your reading up. But just try and recoup and gain your bearings, because I feel something for you personally doesn't feel quite right. And there it is. Okay, you're using your intuition, your third eye, win or lose in reverse. It's like you don't want to make any risks. You don't want to take any risky kind of practices and if this is connected to money, confirmation. Don't make any risque decisions. You know, don't go all or nothing. Pace yourself. There's no rush. Ease yourself into the situation. You know, do the footings and the planning, especially from what we've learnt over the last year and especially the last 2 years. I think that's going to bode best within this romantic connection. Love and light, and look after yourselves.